Welcome to RAS Yoga. My name is Natya. I'll be taking you through this practice. You're welcome to join me no matter where you're at in your personal journey into yoga, where you're at physically or mentally. I'm hoping to provide a practice for you that is accessible no matter where you're at right now. And I also invite you into bringing light and sunshine in, maybe finishing off with a smile, who knows. So to begin your practice with, we won't need much at all. If you can lie down on your back, please do so. If you can't, you can sit in a chair. So while you're lying yourself down onto your back, please do make sure that you are comfortable. If you have any props, maybe not as comfortable as she is, but if you have any props, you can pop them underneath the knees. You could extend the legs out long if that works for you, or step the feet out a bit and let the knees fall in. Let your arms, however, drift a little bit away from the body. If you are in a seated position, you might turn the palms upwards and rest the backs of your hands onto your thighs or knees. I invite you to make any last movements that feel necessary for you to reach comfort. Then to close your eyes, or if that is challenging for you, just steadying the gaze and allowing yourself to arrive within the space of your practice. To acknowledge that when we come into our practice, be that on a mat or in a chair, that we come here in a different condition each time. You might notice different emotions being present. You might notice different things happening within the physical body. Or you might notice the state of your thoughts, as they could be quite calm or wild and bouncing about. Acknowledging everything that you are in this very moment. No need to change it, to fix it. Just being you as you are right now, without any judgment. And if you do notice yourself going in and judging yourself, just step back a little bit. Sit with what is. And do know that things can change. In fact, they change constantly. So while you are allowing your eyes to be closed or steady in your gaze, come into acknowledging your breath and how that is feeling. Even the breath has different qualities. And as we know, the breath is linked strongly to the mind as well. When we're stressed, the breath is fast. When we're relaxed, the breath is relaxed as well. So I would love you to just deepen the breath from here, to breathe in more fully, and to feel how the torso begins to expand, whatever it does. And then as you're breathing out, I invite you to get a gentle lift into the pelvic floor region by drawing the lower abdomen gently in and down towards the tailbone. And when you're breathing in, the body's expanding again. And when you're breathing out, you're drawing on the lower abdomen again. And just the lower abdomen, it's a gentle draw in. And hopefully as you release it, you're starting to notice that play between activation and release of this area. It is important to know where your pelvic floor lies and how you're able to engage it for your overall health. So let's take another 3 full deep breaths in and out of your nose. I'm asking you from there, once you have completed these breaths, to bring in the color yellow. To imagine you can draw a full sun around your body. And if that is appropriate for your shoulders, otherwise please visualize this movement and the sun, of course. We will take a deep breath in, and we're circling the arms out and up over the head. And we're breathing out to circle the arms back down by the side. So we're visualizing we're drawing a sun around us on the in-breath, circling the arms out over the head. And on the out-breath, circling the arms back down and by the sides. So if this works for you, keep it going for another 3 breaths. And moving the arms all the way up if that's available to you, and maybe beginning a slight pause at the end of your inhalation. And then breathing out as you're circling the arms back down and around by your sides. Extend that for another 2 breaths. Just moving the arms, your mind, a big yellow sun is drawn around you. And once you have completed that, I will invite you to pause, to return to your starting position and to just let that settle in. To maybe notice what an arm movement has created for you. Whether you went to the full extent or you were just partially doing it, and visualizing bringing in the sun, opening yourself up. When we are reaching into our arms, besides that symbol of the sun, we're also stimulating our lung energy, our heart energy, as the arms are an extension of our chest area. As you return your awareness back into the body, I will invite you to step your feet onto the ground if they aren't yet. To bring the feet to a comfortable hip distance apart, to allow your arms to just drop over and open, but to keep the shoulders in a relaxed way. And while you're breathing in, let's roll the head and the knees gently in the same direction. They don't have to go far. As you're breathing out, activate your lower abdomen and help with that to bring the knees to center. And when you're breathing in, we're doing the same to the other side. Rolling the knees over, the head might come along, and exhale as we're using our lower abs to assist. Now, please feel in as we continue this movement just for a few more, feeling into what occurs within your own body. If you feel your neck could actually roll in the opposite direction and that being beneficial, you might choose to change the movement and go into opposite sides. Using still your lower abs to draw the knees and head back into center. And the in-breaths for your twist. As my main focus here in the twisting is to create space along the side of the body. So I will invite you next to just stay on this very first side. To let the knees fall across. To keep your head centered, to place both hands now over the side of your chest and rib cage towards your armpit, and to just have a swipe down and in towards the groins. Now let's breathe in, the hand comes up there, and we're breathing out to swipe it down all the way towards the groin.
Do that one more time. Just bring the hands up towards the armpit and then slide them down towards the groin. We're moving a little bit of lymph around, but we're also starting to get in contact with our bodies a bit more. Let's bring the knees to the center and let them fall towards the other side, finding your spot here. Pause. And we'll repeat what we've done here. So the head is centered, looking upwards, bringing your hands down on the side of the armpit, and then on the hourglass, gently swiping down and in towards the groin. So breathing in to bring the hands up towards the armpit and out to swipe down. It's like a gentle stroking action across from the armpit over the side of the rib cage and waist towards the groin. Once you've completed 3 rounds, open the arms again. Bring your knees back into center. You might want to adjust the back just lightly and then bringing your knees up. And of course, would you have been able to do the swiping on the chair as well? If you are still seated on a chair, I will invite you also to bring your hands towards your knees and to keep the arms long as you're breathing in. And then we will hug the knees in towards the chest, and if you're in a chair, you will lean a little bit forward. So we're breathing in to move, and we're breathing out to squeeze in. Staying with that for another 3 breaths. Keep your breath full and deep without any strain or stress. When you have completed your rounds, and if you prefer to stay seated in a chair, please do so. You may stand up though, as we'll do the same here from the ground. You might roll over onto your side and then gently pushing yourself up into sitting. Please do take your time standing up, as we've been lying down there for a fair bit. So finding your way back up into a standing position. And you might choose to stand if you've got a mat to do so at the very front of the mat. If you're choosing to practice in a chair today, you can so far do exactly the same movement with the arms as we're repeating a round of sunshine around us. To begin with, step down with your feet at hip distance and open the arms. Let's take a deep breath. The arms circling out as we're visualizing our sunshine around us. And you might pause at the end of the in-breath, maybe even lift your gaze. Make sure your knees are soft when you're exhaling, or out of the lock rather, and circling the arms back, down, and by the sides. So we're keeping the arms relaxed, and we go into a different movement standing. So while your next breath in comes, make soft fists and really open your arms and chest wide. As you're breathing out, please bend your knees, round your back and touch the backs of your hands together. We'll do that once more. Breathing in, making fists, opening your front body. Breathing out, bending the knees, backs of the hands touching, curling inwards. Inhaling, open the front body. And exhaling, curling in and rounding. Now let's roll ourselves back up into a standing position. We will add a movement here. If you're mixing things up now, don't worry, have a smile on your face, laugh with yourself, as it could be quite tricky to do. So when you're breathing in now, lifting one arm, making fists with both hands, moving one arm upwards, one arm back, and the opposite knee to the lifted arm is bent and the heel off the ground. And when you're breathing out, we're landing the foot again, releasing the arms. So other side. If I lift here, my left knee, it's the right arm that comes up, making fists with both hands. One arm extended up, one extended backwards. And breathing out to release that. So opposite arm lifts as the heel comes off the floor, breathing in. And breathing out to release. Inhaling, opposite side, lifting. And exhaling to release. And of course, can you lift up onto the ball of the foot when you're seated in a chair as well? Now let's release that. Let's bring the hands together in front of the chest in Anjali Mudra, our prayer position. We will combine these movements now. On a breath in, open your arms with fists and open your chest and heart. Then bend your knees on the out breath, round your back and touch the backs of your hands together. Now as you're inhaling, lifting your knee, opposite arm, making fists. And as you're breathing out, we're releasing that other side, arm and knee, inhaling, lifting. And exhaling, release it. Now let's do that one more time, touching again the hands together in front of the chest before we're adding something to it. Let's take a breath in, making fists, opening arms and heart. Breathing out, bend your knees, round your back, touch the backs of your hands together. Lifting your knee and opposite arm, breathing in. Exhaling, release that. Move this slowly, breathing in once more. And then as you're breathing out, let us step the left foot back into a warrior two stance. So while we're bending now, the right knee, the left leg is extended. I will ask you to wrap your left arm here behind your back and just gently let it rest here. If you are on a chair, please turn yourself sideways. Stay seated, bending the right knee, very similar, and maybe have the backrest behind you. Now we will lift the right arm and the palm of the hand is facing downwards. On a breath in now, reach over towards this right side. And as you're breathing out, scoop along the floor. Lift up as you're inhaling, palm of the hand is facing upwards. And on the exhale, bring the arm across and bend the right knee again, our starting position. Now while we do that, we're following our hand with the gaze. Inhale, reach. Exhaling, scoop along. A breath in to rise. Exhale to return to the position. Inhaling, reach. Exhaling, scoop. Inhaling, lift. And exhaling to come across. One more round here, breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale to lift. And exhaling to cross over. Let both arms extend for a moment and find your warrior two. Our drishti is forward, our gaze point is steady. We will bring the hands down onto the thighs. If you are on a chair, you will turn back to the front and we will step again to the front of our mat. Repeating from where we started. So let's bring the palms of the hands together again. Inhaling fists as you're opening your heart and chest. Bending the knees, breathing out as you're rounding the backs of the hands come to touch. Now let's breathe in, lift the knee, opposite arm, the other one moves backwards. And a breath out to land it. Other side, breathing in to lift. And then as you're breathing out, stepping back again into something like a warrior two stance. So legs are quite wide apart. Again, if you're seated on a chair, just turning yourself sideways and also bending the left knee. We're taking now the right arm gently behind the back, just resting it there. Left arm is extended at shoulder height and the palm of the hand starts facing downwards. On the breath in, reach into the direction of your left hand. And on the out breath, scooping along the floor. As you're breathing in, rising to stand. And as you're breathing out, crossing over again. Inhaling, reach. Exhaling, scoop. Inhaling, lift. And exhale, return. Keep following your hand. We go for a couple more rounds. Let your breath tell you how fast or how slow you're moving. There's one breath for each action, although it looks like one big scoop across the earth. Once we've completed our 4 rounds, extending the back arm as well and pausing in that strength that a warrior might have to offer. In this warrior, please take a deep breath. Turn your feet to face in the same direction to lift your arms. And then a breath out as if we're completing a sun, bringing the hands now into the sides of the waist as we bend forward. Let's squeeze into the shoulder blades, open through the heart on an in-breath. Let's bend the knees deeply, and as you're exhaling, folding forward. You can place your hands against your thighs if you need some support, or you can bring them lower. You might even place the hands down in front of you onto a support or the floor. Now, if you are seated in a chair, and I will mimic that here at the couch, I know it's not ideal, you will extend your legs out long, you will sit closer towards the edge of the chair while you're flexing your feet, and then you will fold forward a little bit as well. So while you are in your forward folds, you might choose to relax the head, to gently lift the shoulders back into their sockets, and to be here for just 2 more breaths. If you're standing, the weight is slightly forward within the feet so the tailbone is nice and high. Allowing yourself another breath. And once you have completed, if you're in a chair, just lifting the torso again. If you're on your mat, wiggle your feet in and then come to sit down onto the ground. For another seated forward bend, I might encourage you to use a support. Now, I'm aware that not everyone's got a bolster around. You might not even need that. A cushion, folded up cushion under the knee might be your alternative. Folding your left foot in and resting the right leg kind of extended yet comfortable over a support. If you can't bend your knee that deeply, you can wrap the leg out in front as well, or even extend it to the side if needed. If you feel very restricted in your lower back, please pop an extra cushion underneath your buttocks. Now let's flex the foot again. Breathe in, lengthen your spine, and then if possible, lean your belly towards the thigh. Now if you're on a chair, you might actually place the cushion onto your thigh, so you could comfortably fold forward here as well. So there are no limits to you cushioning yourself up. And I would love you to just soften into this pose, to maybe even close the eyes, or again finding a steady gaze point. And then noticing, where can you relax? It might be the foot that needs relaxing, but be mindful that it's not rolling out to the side and changing the posture altogether. You could soften around the shoulders, the neck, or wherever else feels appropriate. And just let yourself be there for a moment. Embracing, for some, the challenge that disquietness or stillness brings with it. And if your mind is easily distracted, just noticing that too, and allowing that to be, because this is what is now. We can hopefully invite some change there, but we can't enforce it. And if the mind is very busy, that's what it is. Allowing yourself to be here and breathe just that little bit longer. Then walking your hands back up your leg as you're rising to sit. Will we change sides? So noticing that these sides could be entirely different. So if you had trouble on the one side, it might not exist on the other, or vice versa. So aligning yourself again, bringing your hands down onto the thighs, onto the support, choosing a place for the right foot, inhaling while you're still sitting upright. And then as you're breathing out, finding your way forward onto the thigh ideally, or you're cushioning if you're seated, before you begin to relax the whole upper body. The stretch here could be intense to very mild or non-existing, and that is depending on your body's condition right now. So try not to judge it. The body is taking from this posture what it needs. And if there's no physical requirement, the other benefits might become highlighted. So while you are relaxing into this position, inviting all that there is right now, you could mentally repeat, may I be free from fear and harm. May I be happy with how I am. May I be at peace with all that is coming. To release on this side, repeat, walking the hands back up into an upright position. If you've been using cushioning and you feel this could be very beneficial for you, lying down for a Shavasana before we go into one last practice, I will ask you to use what you need to cushion yourself up, to lie back down onto your back, to relax the arms, open them up, to let the legs ideally drop either inwards if your knees are bent, or outwards if the legs are somewhat extended. in your chair, please move back to the backrest so that the spine has its natural curve. And if you've got a cushion there, you might pop that cushion into your lower back to assist you, so that we're still upright and tall, but a bit more supported and relaxed. While you allow yourself to rest in your Shavasana for a little bit longer, I will ask you to bring your energy into this Shavasana. So bringing your mind down into your arms. And while you're breathing in, making fists with the hands and engaging gently but fully up into arms. And then as you're breathing out, relax that gently. So there is an activation, but it's kind of soft and yet complete. As you're next breathing in, do the same with your legs. Squeeze your toes. Activate the legs all the way up. And as you're breathing out, soften the legs again. Let them relax. Now while you're next inhaling, squeeze your buttocks and see if you can get a lift of the hips. Could be subtle. And then breathing out and releasing that again. I'd ask you now to move the shoulder blades closer in towards each other as you're breathing in, drawing them back. And then softening those down onto the ground as you're exhaling. And last, let's move into the facial muscles as you squeeze them, purse your lips, wrinkle your forehead. And then a breath out where you soften that and relax it. And now let your whole body just be. Many gentle sensations still there to observe for you. Svaha Tat Savitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Gayatri Mantra. It often is linked with the god of the sun, in reminding us that at the end of a long dark night, light arises and drives away darkness. This is how he reminds us that even through our inner light sometimes darkens, but is still always there and can be awakened again. The mantra gives us hope, confidence, and comfort in dark and challenging times. Gayatri Mantra. You can just look up this mantra. There's many variations of it, and play it for yourself to brighten up your day. It's very popular with children as well. I use it usually at the end of a children's yoga class while we're in person. So let's take a few deeper breaths in and out again, starting to move the body in a very gentle manner. Maybe have a stretch. Now, if you're seated in a chair, you're already in the right position. But otherwise, propping yourself up, being comfortable. If you choose to sit on the ground, you might use a cushion underneath, or you could even lean against the wall. We'll bring in more energy of the sun, Surya Pidana Pranayam. So for that, we will alternate the nostrils halfway, let's say. So we will use our fingers, and I use my right hand, my dominant hand. So the right hand thumb will be there to close the right nostril, and the ring finger will be there to close the left nostril. The other two fingers can either fold into the palm of the hand or rest near or on the eyebrow center. Make sure that your spine is tall, the shoulders relaxed, and you could rest the palm of the hand underneath the elbow to support this arm. Now I will invite you here to close off your left nostril, to breathe in through the right, to close the right, open the left, and exhale here. Then close the left again, inhaling again through the right nostril. Close it and exhale through an open left nostril. And we keep going like this, inhaling through the right side and exhaling through the left. Inhaling right, exhaling left. Please continue like this for a few more. We're inhaling always through the right nostril and exhaling through the left. A way of stimulating, a gentle stimulation as we invite more of the sun energy into our bodies. A great practice when you're starting your day. If, however, you might be doing this practice right now at the end of your day, you could swap this all together and breathe the other way around, always in through the left and out of the right, so to work more with the relaxation response. Otherwise, keep breathing in the right and out the left, and do so for 3 more breaths. Once completed, resting the hands down, eyes closed or focused, and just feeling into the sensations. We will then complete our practice by gathering a whole big sun around us. So on your next inhalation, let's reach the arms out. Imagine that big yellow sun that you're drawing all the way around you and holding it within the 2 hands as you finish your inhalation. And then draw it right down and in front of you. And I am deliberately drawing that a little bit lower than my heart space in front of the solar plexus area. Maybe we've cultivated a little bit of warmth there. Maybe you brought some space within your body, or you gained something for your mind. I hope it was a little bit of all of that. as we acknowledge the light that we can all shine out into this world with the light bow, and then extending our light and awareness to each other. Namaste.